future people, welcome to Getting Tabled. Welcome to the Jwar Isle. I am here, Jason the Bruce, along with Brother Bear.
Hey, how you going, everyone?
And today, we are not talking about the Savage Wave. They will be next week. We are instead talking about the two-player starter set. If you're confused as to why the Savage Wave aren't here, we did discuss this last week. We decided to hold off and discuss the new hotness first. Ben's idea, and I agreed with him. I thought it was a good idea. So here we are.
Don't blame me. No, no. Well, I mean, Adepticon just sort of happened. Everyone at Adepticon got COVID. So I know Jason Enos is currently unwell. I hope you're feeling better, Jason, by when you see this. Master Enos, grace us with your presence. Yes, so we're talking the two-player starter set, the Hazumi family and the Kaiazumi family.
Yeah.
We're both kind of excited for it because these are some beautiful models.
We're going to start by taking a look at the box because it's nice and pretty. So the box set is a two-player starter set. It does come with 10 models. Wait, 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 10 models. That's all of them. However, we have added things up, and rice-wise, they're not actually even. You were saying one of them is 67 rice and the other one is 71? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, that's correct. So that's just the models, so not including any event cards, but the Hazumi family in total is 67 rice, and the Kazumi family is 71 rice. That's correct.
Yeah.
If you, with all the faction cards available to them, not including the theme, but it's Hazumi is 19 rice, making it a total of 86. And the Kazumi family is 18 rice for the cards, making it a total of 89. So just about 3 rice difference.
Yeah.
But the Hazumi family have access to a lot more event and enhancement cards.
Now, those of you listening to this out there will probably be having one of two reactions. Either you'll be thinking, wait, how can they do this? Or, like me, your immediate reaction will be, actually, that's not very unusual. If you actually go and look at most two-player starter sets, look more even, but they're usually a few points out. And 3 points shouldn't make a huge difference in a game. Obviously, when you're going to a tournament, you're going to have to add something to these lists to become tournament legal. But we're just talking about the two-player starter set for today.
Yeah. I mean, that gives you, 14 rice for the Hazumi to add, that's another model or maybe a cheap model and something else. And 11, which is not that much for Kaiazumi, but you can find something.
Yeah.
If you just take all of Ronin, that'll be really cool.
If you're wondering why we're bringing it up when I've just said that it's actually not that unusual, it's just because if we're talking about this, I just want to be upfront rather than people wondering, well, why aren't you talking about this? Are you trying to pretend? No, it's just... Honestly, it is actually fairly common, and if you're unsure about that, go pick a random two-player starter set from any company. Very, very rarely are they even. Sometimes they are, but it's very rarely.
Yeah. I think Crimson Stone for Infinity is there's a bit of a point skew. But,
yes.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah. Moving on, I am going to start with Kaiazumi Hinadori, whose last name sounds like a fish. So, she is a Shisai, 17 rice. She has 2 melee, 1 ranged. She moves 4. She's got 5 wounds. She can generate 2 keys. She can hold 8. She's unarmed with a -2 strength modifier. That's not what she's there for. Her thing is heal 2. Her key abilities we'll go into for a second, but before I do, she is available for the Shiho, the Ryu, and Temple. Specifically Temple of Ryokan, I should say. We have 2 temples now. As for the abilities, we've got Prayer of Healing, which will cost you 2. You do need to be the active player, and it's an aura within 6. You cannot have enemies in base to base though. This model may target any model within the aura with its heal trait. She also has Soothing Shomyo, which is an X cost. It's a complex action, and it's an aura of X. You cannot have models in base to base. Mm-hmm. Models in the aura gain immune berserk when rolling a damage roll against a friendly model within the aura. After the result is determined, roll an additional die and then choose 1 dice to remove. Use the remaining 2 dice for the damage roll. So this is very, very much a support character, just in case that wasn't obvious enough.
Yeah.
In the unique effects... Also... Sorry, yes?
Oh, no, that's okay. I'll mention it later.
Yep. This model cannot declare melee or charge actions against Koga. Oh, happy dagger. If Koga is removed from play, this model gains Vengeance Enemy and is also removed from play at the end phase of the last turn. Now, heal. This model may declare a simple heal action and attempt to enter base to base with another non-soulless model by moving up to its move statistic. If at the end of its movement it's in base to base with the chosen model, heal 2 marked wounds from the wound track of the chosen model. So, Koga, correct me if I'm wrong, Koga I assume is her Romeo?
Yes, this is Julia, and Koga is the Romeo from the other family. He's the gentleman with the bow, and I believe he's got he's also holding a samurai sword. He's quite an awesome looking model. Firstly, she's her healing ability, the fact that she can do it in base-to-base contact or via range is really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Secondly, I really love this model. Like, I think she's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think she might. For me, I think she might be the model of the set. Not that any of them look bad, but she in particular really stands out to me. Always did.
Yeah. She's definitely. When you look at the artwork, she's definitely the focus. I personally like Keychoke just because of just that simple look. But she's definitely she's pretty awesome. Just she's on a 30 mil base. She's definitely a support option for Temple and everything like that. I think she's a pretty decent. So she's got a pretty decent heal option. I think she's better than some of the healing models that Prefecture of Ryu have access to, and I don't believe there's many heal models for Shiho. So finally, Shiho get access to a healing model. So it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Do you want to head into Keychoke, given that that's the one that you like? Wait, was it Keychoke you said you like?
Yeah, Keychoke. So she's 16 rice, so she's an unknown. She's also a worm. She's got a melee pool of 3. She can boost that for 3. She's got a movement of 4. She can boost that for 3 key. And she's got 5 health. She's got a range of 3 and can boost that for 3. She can hold 8 key, generates 2 a turn, and she can boost her key feat, or opposed key test, I should say, for 3. She's got dual Tachi, 0 strength, but she's got combo attack 0 and sidestep defense 0. She's also got the soulless trait, and she's got 2 key abilities. She's got Lurker. Lurker is this model gains camouflage 2 inches until the end phase. You can't be in base-to-base contact whilst you do this with an enemy. It's going to cost you 2 key, and you just have to be the active player. And she's got Shadow Arts, 2 key, active player, can't be in base-to-base contact. And this model gains Lightfoot and Assassin until the end of the current activation. She is available for Tengu models and the ninja faction. She's got a unique effect. So whilst attempting to target this model, enemy models lose 6 cents, which is pretty good. Her soulless trait, so this model automatically succeeds at fear tests and is immune to frighten. And this model can also be automatically success opposed key test when it is not the active model. That's also quite a good thing to have. 16 rice, so that gives you a cheap ninja. Yeah, she's a worm. So she's like sort of a low ranking sort of ninja, and there's something we'll probably need to cover on the ninja video that we'll do. But yeah, I like her a lot. I like the model. I think she's got quite a simple yet unique sort of design. I just like that stoic sort of like pose that she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's great for 16 rice.
Yeah.
She's
No,
better than
she
most
is good.
Worms. Mm.
I am going to go into Zadaka. So Zadaka costs you 15 rice. She's a samurai. She's got 3 melee. She moves 5. She's got 5 wounds. She's got 2 range. She can hold 8 key, but she can generate 2, and she can boost her challenges for 3. She's holding a Naginata. There's no strength bonus. It has reach, powerful attack 1, push defense 0, and sidestep defense 1. She has immune control, prowess melee 1, and steadfast. She's got 2 key abilities. We've got psychic drain, which will cost you 1. It's a simple action, and the target needs to be within 8 inches. It's an opposed key test. Cannot have anybody in base to base. Transfer up to 3 key tokens from the target enemy model's profile to this card. She also has Shroud, which will cost you X. This is a complex action, and it's an aura within X. Can't be within base to base. Enemy models that are not in the aura cannot draw line of sight to models completely inside the aura. Models completely inside the aura do not block enemies' line of sight.
So X will be the amount of key that you're spending, and X will be the amount of inches that you're spending to do that complicated key feat.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad at all.
No, and it's something that you're probably going to want to be saving up for, I would argue. She is available for the Ito and for the Savage Wave, which, with the way that those two factions work, she will be a very, very keen addition to the Ito, I think. The Ito don't really have much in the way of the Shroud option, and I do think they're a faction in particular that really could do with it.
I like her a lot for 15 rice. I mean, she's a competent fighter of 3. I mean, okay, she doesn't have any armor or anything like that, but the fact that you've got a samurai that gives out psychic drain and has that shroud ability given to a faction, say for example Savage Waves, that don't have access to a lot of decent samurai, that's not bad at all. And also the fact that she's so cheap for those abilities for Ito will be really good as well.
I mean, if you manage to get that psychic drain off and immediately you've got 3 key to go straight into Shroud the next turn, that's just, plus whatever you generate, so that's potentially a 5 that you could have right there, if you pull it off, obviously. I quickly want to touch on Steadfast because it's something I don't think we've talked about, at least for a while. Steadfast. This model may freely choose how to allocate dice in melee exchange when frightened. If this model declares an action to bring it in base to base with a model with fear and fails the fear test, it must continue the action and becomes frightened. So, yeah, so something that'll become important.
Yeah, that Steadfast helps because you can allocate your dice where you want to, so that's always useful. Yeah, for 15 rice, I think she's really, really good. Plus, I think she's a fantastic model as well. I like her blade and her sort of like talon, sort of like hand. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And her headdress is really unique and interesting.
Yeah, I really like the model. She's absolutely stunning. I love, there's not a lot of older characters. I mean, there are some, but there's not a lot of them. And she's the best of the older characters, model-wise, I've seen for a while. Do you want to cover Haiboku or Ken Minor?
I'll cover Ken Minor.
Is this Ken?
So, Kemiana. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. Kemina. Yeah. So this is she's 13 rice. It's an Ashigaru Satei Kazoku. She's got 3 melee. Can boost that for 3. She's got movement 4. She's got 6 health, so a bit stronger. She's got 1 ranged. Yeah, she can generate 1 key and can hold up to 4. She's got the Tetsuken, which is +1 strength, and she has stun attack 1. She's got armor 2, fortitude, and jump up, which is really good. And she's got the 1 key feat which is called Alacrity, which costs you 0. Active player to do that, it just affects you. You can't be an enemy, in base-to-base contact, and it's a once per turn ability. So this model gains additional activation counter. An enemy model may cancel this key feat by spending 1 key token. This model gains that key token, and the key feat is no other effect. And the key feat has no other effect, but is still considered to have been used this turn. So the fact that it's like, I can use this additional key ability and get an additional activation, and the fact that your opponent will have to spend 1 key to remove it can be kind of annoying.
Away. I love that.
Yeah, it's annoying, but yeah, it's good. I like it. Now this model can be used outside of like the theme, but can be used in the Jung faction and the Silver Moon faction.
Yeah.
So we'll touch on her unique effect, Fortitude, because I don't think we've touched on it in a while.
Yeah.
So during key generation, this model's controller may flip a coin and call heads or tails. If they call successfully, double the number of key tokens gained. If not, this model gains no key tokens instead. So that's definitely a very much a sort of pirate, I would say, Silver Moon sort of ability.
Yeah.
And she also has jump up, which you'll see a lot with pirates as well, which is always good.
Yep. I like her. She's very, very, especially for 13 rice, she's very good.
Yeah, she's she's a great model, and 13 rice is a pretty decent fighter for Jung, actually. She doesn't have, she's outside of your normal like samurai models or like the captains. Yeah, this is a pretty decent fighter.
Yeah. She has this nervous look on her face, which I really like. It's like she's trying to survey and figure out if she's actually comfortable, or I don't know. At least that's how I read the face, anyway.
I like her sort of like the sword, like holding the sword on the hilt. You don't see that a lot in Bushido models. Normally, everyone's got their sword out or they're drawing a sword. This one's just sort of like placed it very like on a ship, sort of like surveying of what's going on. So yeah, very cool model.
Do I slit the threat now, or do I do it later?
Yeah.
All right, and then finally we have Haiboku. So Haiboku will cost you 10 rice. He's a samurai, and I think that's easily the cheapest samurai in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't think of any others that are that cheap. Yeah,
apart from Savage Wave, maybe there might be that samurai Bakemono character, but that's the only one I can't remember how much rice he costs, but we covered it in the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, certainly cheap for a samurai. Very, very reasonably priced.
Yeah. 2 melee, he can boost it for 3. He can move 4. He has 6 wounds. He's got 3 ranged. He generates 2 key, but he can hold 6. He's got a Daisho for his melee, -1 strength, push defense 0, sidestep defense 1. He's also got a Daikayu, which has got a +1 strength, reload 2, and the range band is 5, 10, and 15. He has bodyguard Kaiazumi within 3 inches, so this faction. Prowess melee 1, spirit -1, and tactician 1.
Ooh, that's good for 10 rice.
Yeah. He has 2 key feats. Coin, which will cost you 3. It's a simple action, and it's an aura of 6 inches. You cannot be in base to base. Friendly non-Kami Ronin models in the aura, when this key feat is used, gain 1 key token. Models in the aura gain bodyguard Haiboku, 3 inches. So, come, look after me, I will pay you.
I'll pay you. Yeah. Definitely what he's about.
Yeah. And he has Nuki Do as well, which is one, it's instant, and it just affects him. It's only once per turn. When this model does not have the initiative, it gains +1 melee pool, dodge +1, and defensive until the end of the current exchange. So there's some negative there if you're trying to take him yourself. Like if I want to attack him, it's very, very unusual that the person wouldn't be spending that, because there's almost, unless you've already spent all your key, there's no reason that you wouldn't. He will play with the Silver Moon and your guys, the Minamoto.
Yeah, I like him.
He must use his bodyguard trait whenever he's able to.
Okay.
So it's not an option on this guy. He has to use it.
So use his bodyguard ability. So that means he must be able to protect one of the Kazumi family. So if he's in a faction, so let's say, for example, you use him just in like Minamoto and you've got no Kazumi other models, he can't use it. No biggie at all. But
it means that you can't use it elsewhere.
Yeah, but if you take the faction theme, for 10 Rice, he's going to be doing a lot of bodyguarding on all of your models, which is actually pretty good, seeing as, like, look at his defense stats. So push defense, fantastic. So to push defense 0 and sidestep defense 1, so that's going to cost you 1 dice on a melee pool of 2, but you'll be doing sidestep defense reactively. I reckon. Yeah, I mean, he's a defensive guy, so I kind of like him. For 10 Rice, gives you an extra model, and also 10 Rice gives you a ranged model of 3. That's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. No, I really like this. That's and the model's gorgeous.
Yeah, I was going to say, so now I'm trying. We're probably going to spend too much time on this because I'm thinking about how does it benefit me as a Minamoto player. I like the Tactician one, so Tactician 1 adds +1 to your dice roll, which is always good when rolling, the test. But also the fact that he's got the 5, 10, and 15-inch range band for sort of for that Caillou. Yeah, I like him a lot. For 10 Rice, pretty good. You can use him in Finest Steel, and you can back up, all the other guys. But also the fact that he can also go with Silver Moon, he'll give them access to a pretty good ranged model. I like it. And
I just want to mention this very quickly, just because some people may not necessarily click to this. That's 15 inches on a 24-inch board. That's more than half of your board. It's massive.
Even 10 inches is huge, and that's your mid range, which is probably what you're going to be shooting a lot.
Most of the time.
And you need 4s on 3 dice. And then take into account any modifiers and everything like that. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So first turn, he has a potential 19-inch threat range.
Yeah, I think we should touch on the theme. So for everybody, letting you know, because these are Ronin models, you can take them in part of the theme. So you can take all the models in this star set under the family theme, or you can use them for each faction that they can be used in. So we'll touch on the Kazumi theme. So before the first turn, you may choose the alignment of one objective. If you choose not to do this, Kazumi models count as 2 models when calculating zone of control until you score a victory point. That's really, really good. So you can choose the alignment of one objective, that means you would be able to say, if your opponent has got it, you can turn it. You can go, oh, you have that objective, I'm going to turn it away from you. Also, the fact that you could turn it to face you. Or if you don't want to use that ability, you count as 2 models. That's even better. So Kaiazumi Kameme model may always be recruited into this theme. And once per game at the starting phase, you use this ability. You win all tie breaks regardless of the usual rule conflict resolution until the end phase. If you both have this ability, resolve the tie break normally. So that's not bad. But yeah, I like the first part of the ability. So the models that are permitted in this theme are Kaiazumi, Kameme, and Ronin models.
Yeah.
So if you were to take this as a faction, what you would do is you would pick a theme. So you would pick a faction. So you would pick, say, Shiho, or you would pick like Temple, and then you would then pick this theme. You would then gain access to any of the models, Ronin models that are aligned with that theme, and then you can include them into this. Yeah, I reckon this is good. So I like that because you can. So it seems that this faction theme allows you to control like the objective or boost in zone of control, which would be definitely very, very, very helpful.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. So if I was to pick one of the two families to start, I'd be picking this one. I think this is because it kind of suits my sort of style of play. I like it a lot.
I really like the guys that come in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going to talk about it. I should say it because I don't know its gender. But yeah, I do like that Fox model though. I do like it a lot.
It's on screen right now.
All right, there we go. All right, well, I tell you what, you talk about. I know you like it as well.
Yep. Well, I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the start. So I'm going to look at Koga, and I'm going to leave the fox for you.
Okay. Oh, so you're talking about our lovely Romeo.
Yep. For those that are wondering why we keep on referencing Romeo and Juliet, it's because the story of this box set is literally Romeo and Juliet. All right, so I'm going to start with Hazumi Koga. So he's a samurai, costs you 16 rice. He has 3 melee, which you can boost for 3. He moves 4. He's got 3 ranged. He generates 2 ki, he can hold 6. He has a Daisho, which has +1 strength and push attack 0. And he has a Daikayu, which is a +1 strength, reload 1, and his range is 5, 10, and 15. So he's got exactly the same range band, but he only has to reload 1. That means he's
a more skilled archer.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
He's also more expensive, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He has armor 2, bravery, and prowess melee ranged 1.
Ooh. So that's really good for 16, right? So he's got
doesn't
prowess
get
melee
used
and
in both
range.
very often.
Yeah, you rarely do. I like him.
He has 1 key ability called Ancestral Armor. It costs you 1. It's an instant. It only affects him. The next enemy damage roll on this model is ignored if the individual dice values of the damage are the same number.
Oh, okay.
It's an instant. So that's I can just do that, and it's not until the activation is over. It just says the next enemy damage roll. So I can just do that in the first turn until somebody eventually attacks me. I suspect that may actually get reworded at some stage.
No, it makes sense. So, for example, if you're going to be fighting against Prefecture Arayu with their critical strike ability, which has the dice roll, or I think it's the assassin ability, you gain some extra if they equal the same number. So before the dice roll, you roll that, and then it's ignored. So that's not a bad. That's for 1 rice.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying this is nuts.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's very good to have, and it's a good thing to have, especially on someone who's actually a pretty decent fighter and shooter as well.
And it shuts down an ability that can be really annoying. I had a game against somebody that was doing that, and he pulled that thing off 3 times in one game, which is just nuts.
Sorry, how does this shut down Blood of Orochi?
No, it doesn't.
You said, you said it shuts down something that's really annoying. I just assumed Blood of Orochi. No. That's for Craig. He's gonna get a kick out of that joke. Okay. So, all right. No, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's...
We could go on a tangent right now and talk about Critical Strike. Critical Strike is a thematic thing. It's nice. It's nice when it comes off, but you can't rely on it.
No, and you can't at all.
But it's good to shut that down, which especially on a model that he's going to do a majority of your work. He's going to be he's a decent fighter for this family, and he's a pretty good shot as well.
Yep.
So yeah, if you want to keep him alive, yeah, spend that 1 key before the damage roll. So yeah, I like it a lot.
Yep. For his unique effects, I feel like I have to do this. Thus, with a kiss, I die. If Hinadori is removed from play, this model loses all key tokens and is also removed from play in the end phase of the last turn. This model cannot declare melee or charge actions against Hinadori. Which makes sense because it's Romeo and Juliet. I love the fact that they're literally quoting it here too. I need to go back and look at hers and actually see if her rule is quoting. It is! They're both quoting. They're both quoting.
Happy Dagger.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that at the time.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
I mean, it's not. I mean, makes you sort of very wary of killing her if you face her.
Yeah.
But also that being said, you know, if you do kill her, you know, you lose a 16 rice model and they lose a 17 rice model. Yeah, I mean, it's very thematical. It'll be interesting to see if it comes up in games. It'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I suspect that this is a rule that people will forget until it becomes important. Because it's one of those things that 9 times out of 10 you're not really going to care about. So you won't think about it until it comes up. So, no. Somebody will point it out and then you'll realise, oh no, what have I done? That's how I feel this is going to come up, is shocking the person that's done it. Very quickly, he can work with the temple and he can work with the Tengu, or dissension. So, in theory, that means that the only faction that those two lovers could work together under is the Temple of Ryokan.
Which kind of makes sense, because don't they, in the story, they kind of, don't they meet in like sort of the ruins of an old like temple from memory? So yeah, those. If you're a fan of this box set, check out the story for sure. It's actually quite nice. But yeah, I mean, I think they both have the same unique effect as well. So like this model cannot declare melee or charge actions against Hinadori, and this model cannot declare melee or charge actions against Koga. Yeah, fitting. I mean, they love each other. They're not going to hurt each other.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk about Hazumi I'm going to butcher this name. Hang on. Dahanji? Is it Dahanji?
Dahanji, yes.
Dahanji,
the elderly gentleman.
Yeah. I like him. All right, so I'm going to talk about Hazumi Dahanji. He's 13 rice. He's a samurai model. He's got a melee pool of 3. He can boost that for 4 key. Bit pricey there. He's got movement of 4. He's got 6 health. Not bad. He's got a range of 3. Not bad as well. He's got he generates 2 key and he can hold 8. He's got the Daisho. Has 0 strength. He's got push attack 1 and powerful attack 1 and push attack 0. Not bad at all. Especially for 13 rice, it's not bad. He's got melee prowess. He's got bravery and he's got melee prowess 1, so he can reroll 1 dice. He's got the encourage key feat, which is 2. You have to be the active model. Target of 6 inches, and it's a once per turn ability. Target other friendly models gain +1 to its melee pool or range pool until the end phase. That's not bad at all. He's got reputation. Yes, encourage is good, but you'll see where it's later on. He's got reputation, 2 instant, and its target is in base-to-base contact. During the enemy model's activation, in which it enters base-to-base contact with this model, that enemy model gains a stun marker. This key feat may only be used once per model in any activation. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
2 key. Awesome.
I love that reputation actually coming into the game as a rule.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
I have to fight you. No, I can't fight you. I'd really like that.
But yeah, so if you're coming against like a 3 range, a melee 3 model or a melee 4 model, that stun marker drops it down to 3. It gives you a bit of an edge there.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all for 13 rice. I would definitely be taking that. All right, his unique effects. This model may only use encourage key feat on peasant models or village models and Hazumi models.
Yeah.
That's really good because then he can boost your other fighters as well. You could also then boost Koga with encourage, and then he gains +1 melee or range. So then Koga goes to range 4. That's not bad at all.
No. Or you use it with a weaker model to help boost it. Yeah. It works both ways. I really like it.
Yeah, so this guy can only be taken with the Prefecture of Ryu or Minamoto, or he can be taken in the Hazumi theme. I like it a lot. I like him a lot for 13 rice. I think this guy gets a lot of stuff done. I really like his robes as well. I think I don't know. I like both of the older characters.
So do I.
Like, yeah, they've got like that sort of very regal sort of like look. And I like their head. I like their dress. I like their headset. Like, yeah, I like them a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to be talking about the friendliest sorcerer that you've ever seen, because oh my goodness, doesn't he look friendly? We have Hazumi Maha or Maha. Maha. 14 rice. He's a Shugenja. He has a 2 melee. He can boost it for 3. He can move 4. He's got 5 wounds. He's got 2 ranged. He generates 2 ki. He can hold 8. He can boost his challenges for 3. And his attack is ghosts. I'm not saying it's ghosts, but it's ghosts. Sorry, I had to do that. So his first key ability is Ghost Fire. You're welcome. It costs you 3 ki. It's a simple action, and it's a pulse of X. Base to base. You cannot be in base to base, and it's once per turn. Transfer 1 key model from all models in the pulse to this model. Each model that transferred a key token suffers 1 wound. Wounds caused by this effect ignore tough. X is equal to the number of ghost tokens on this model.
So that's all models. That includes friendly models as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's not bad. I mean, yeah, okay.
It's something that can be very good, but it's not something you necessarily want to be using all the time. Because obviously...
I mean, it's 3. So Summon Ghost is 3, so it's going to be potentially 3, 2, or 1 inches. Not bad. I mean, you could do, I would be sort of keeping it away from my other guys whilst
because otherwise you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Yeah. He also has Obey. This is a rule that's going to be very hard to understand how this works. No, it's pretty obvious. It costs you 3. It's a simple action. Target within 8 inches that's an opposed key test. Cannot have an enemy within base to base. Target enemy model gains 1 control marker.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Obey. Like, nobody complains about Obey at all. It's like Blood of Orochi. Nobody ever complains about it because everybody loves it.
It's not... Okay, because there's a counter for it. But anyway, look,
yes.
First off, for 14 rice to have Obey isn't bad at all.
No,
that's
not
really,
at all.
Really good. I mean, you got no other way of sort of like, but also, I should probably let you finish with his unique effects before we start talking about this model.
Yeah.
So who it can be taken by.
Yep, so he's got an ability called Summon Ghosts that you referred to a minute ago. This model begins the game with 3 ghost tokens. When this model suffers wounds, instead, remove a ghost token for each wound that would be suffered. When this model spends key tokens, it may instead remove any number of ghost tokens and pay that fewer key. Ghosts. If this model successfully attacks in melee exchange while using this weapon, the opposing model gains a frighten marker. So you start with them, you do not have the ability to get them back. And as they go, obviously that's going to weaken the rest of your abilities. So you're going to have to be very careful with how you choose to use those. I really like this guy though. He only works with, I'm sure this is going to surprise everybody, Cult of Uri, and the Void Temple.
Yeah,
or Kinshin Temple.
So, in regards to your comment about not being able to gain ghost counters back, whilst I was adding up and looking at all the enhancement cards, there's one that's called Plans Made, Bargains Kept. It's an enhancement card for that guy, for Maha. Sorry. And it says when a non-soulless model within 4 inches of this, of the attached model is killed, the attached model gains 1 ghost counter, so you can gain more.
Okay.
So and you can gain back. So unless he says you can have a maximum, this game begins the game with 3 ghost tokens. Okay. So it doesn't say anything about not being able to exceed that. But yeah, so yeah, it's that key. Sorry, that enhancement card. If I just quickly jump back and have a look at it.
I've just brought it up.
Rice.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus 2 rice. I would definitely be taking that with that guy.
I would agree.
So this guy's going to be
stupid not to.
Yeah. So that this model then becomes 16 rice. That's not bad for this ability. He's pretty. It's an interesting sort of model. I like his look. I like all the ghosts above his head. I like his gown and his fancy headdress.
I might be changing which model in the box is my favourite, actually. But before, I'd really like it. But I just need to point out one thing, because it fits with this guy so much. Your soul is mine.
Yeah, I like Maha a lot.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's unique. Being able to dish out control. I think this is good because I was kind of glad to see that this didn't get given to like the Silver Moon or something like that. It's definitely a cult. Kind of very very fitting, really, for these picks. But also that being said, I mean Silver Moon don't need any more control markers or access to them. Yeah, not a bad model. I'm going to talk about the little humble peasant, Tayo. Tayo. First off, he's also a really awesome model. Secondly, he's 11 rice. He's a peasant and he's a villager, so he kind of works with that encourageability.
Yeah.
He has got 2 melee. He can boost that for 3. Not bad. He's got movement of 3. He's got only 4 health. He's got 2 range. And he generates 1 key and he can hold a maximum of 6. He's got a knife, which gives him push defense 1. So it's going to cost you 1 dice to do that. And the knife has -1 strength. This model has got the cowardly trait. He's also got supplies. 1 key is a simple action, and if the pulse is base to base, you can't be in base-to-base contact with an enemy. That's interesting. Let me have a look at his key. So he can be taken by Temple and Shiho. So supplies. Remove a reload marker, or add an ammo token to a model in the pulse. So this guy's going to be running along Koga and being basically like free reload. That's not bad at all.
No.
So yeah, you can't have an enemy in base-to-base contact with you, but you're basically going to be touching, in base-to-base with a friendly model and giving him. You can remove a reload marker or add an ammo token. That's not bad at all. Unique effects for this model: enhancement equipment cards bought for warbands that have recruited this model cost -1 rice to a minimum of 1. That's really really good.
Yeah.
So that takes it down to how much? Let's have a look at this. So if you were to take this guy with a Hazumi faction, it's going to cost 1, 2 enhancement equipment cards. That's not bad at all. So it's not just enhancement cards; it has to be equipment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like this guy a lot. Then if you take him with Shiho, it's going to give Shiho a massive boost in their equipment because they got some pretty nice sort of equipment for cheap. And also, in fact, Temple as well. That's going to be kind of interesting. You don't really see a lot of enhancement cards for Temple, but there are some expensive ones.
It'll definitely help.
For 11 rice, I think this guy's great.
I would argue that if you're taking Koga, then this is a must-take, quite simply. Well, not specifically Koga, but inside this faction, you need them both together because it just makes Koga so much better.
Well, yeah. So you could only really take them if you're You could take both of them in a temple list.
Yeah.
Or you could take them in a Ronin faction list, and then you make a temple and go take Koga and him and then a bunch of other Ronin that are aligned with temple. If you don't want to use the family theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm gonna let you talk about your favorite Foxy boy or Foxy girl.
Yeah, so the Foxy It is called Ryokan. I'm sure it's very keen to slice and eat your head off. It's an animal and a yokai. Yokai! 13 rice. If you don't know what that's a reference to, it's an inside joke, but it's also a reference to Good Morning Vietnam. You're welcome. It's got 3 melee. It can move 7 because it's a fox. It's got 5 wounds. It's got 2 ranged. And its key is 2. It cannot generate key because it's an animal. Yeah. It has bite for a +1 strength, which has sidestep defense 1 and push defense 0. It also has hypnotic gaze, which is a special attack, and it gains stun attack 0. It's aloof. Okay. It has dodge 1, light-footed, and 6th sense. So, for its unique effects, nature, this model cannot declare melee or charge actions against Hazumi Koga. So it's his pet, basically. And nurture, when recruited into the Hazumi family theme, this model gains coordinated attack, Hazumi. That's really good.
Yeah, so it gains +1 melee pool if in combat with a model that's engaged with another Hazumi model. That's not bad at all.
This is also on a large base. This will work with the... Yep. This will work with the Tengu, Dissension, the Temple of Ryokan, the Cult of Uri. That surprises me a bit. And the Savage Wave. It also surprises me, that one. It just surprises me because it's not a model that I would have expected, because it doesn't look like something that would be going with those factions. But I mean, you could easily paint it up to look evil.
Hypnotic gaze. I'm interested about that. So that would just be. So it says it's special, but I want more information.
Yeah, there's no more information there.
Oh no, sorry. Sorry, it's not a ranged ability. It's it's a melee attack.
Yeah, I did say melee.
Base contact. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Hypnotic gaze. Yeah, it's a melee. It's a special. So basically, you're spending all of your ki, so your melee attack, and then you can do stun attack. It's not bad. Stun attack 0 is pretty good, especially because stun mark is stack, which is even better. Yeah, for 13 rice, I like this guy. I like this fox a lot.
No, this is brilliant. Do you want to cover the theme?
Yeah, I'll cover the theme. So this is the Hazumi family. So friendly models begin the game with 1 key token. That's pretty good. Hazumi, Teo, and Ryokan models may always be recruited into this theme. In the start phase, choose 1 enemy model to gain aloof trait until the end phase. So aloof means it won't be able to interact with scenario objectives. That's pretty good, especially if you could at the starting phase you can target something that's right next to an objective and say you're not being able to control that. So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
The starting phase, choose 1 friendly non-Hazumi model. This model gains coordinated attack Hazumi until the end phase. So you could do that. So you could do that with the Tayo, because he's not a Hazumi. So yeah, I mean it's not a bad thing to have. Tayo. Yeah, so the permitted models for this theme are anything that's classed as Hazumi, Teo, Ryokan, and Ronin models. Yeah. I mean, I like this theme a lot. It's good. I like that being able to cause 1 enemy model to be aloof. That's a nice little ace up the hole. Sorry, ace up the sleeve, I should say. Yeah, that's a nice little perk there. Yeah, not a bad theme at all.
But the starting phase, choosing one of the enemy models, the fact that you get to pick which one it is very important there. Because if it was random, that would be almost pointless. But because you get to pick the model that, let's be clear, probably scares you most this turn, or the one that's causing you the most damage in the area that you really need to take control over, that like this is so much easier.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't break anything.
Yeah. So for example, like if you're going up against ninjas and Ghost does this like tricky little thing and goes into an objective and is going to touch, obviously interact with that in the next turn, or you can say nope, you're not going to be able to do that. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Just being able to hinder your opponent's plan, always good little perk to have.
Yep. So yeah, this is a really, really good box set. Everything works together really well. It does feel like the models are fairly spread out. I mean, Ito only has access to one of these characters, which was a big disappointment for me. But Ito already has access to enough models. They really didn't need a lot more Ronin. But there's pretty much something in here for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say you don't need access to anymore. You've got enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I think just quickly looking at it, I think I was going to say I think Prefecture Ryu are the same. I think they only have access to one model. Oh no, sorry, two. They have young little Juliet.
Yes.
Hinadori. They have access to her. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I like it. I know a lot of people were very excited for it. The quality of the models are amazing, so I'm really super excited to see that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is like I was all like Kazumi sort of models. I was like, yeah, I like them a lot. But now, like just going over again the Hazumi sort of faction, I like them both. I think that it's going to be hard for me to pick of like which one I'm going to go, but I'm definitely going to try out playing each of the themes when I get them all painted and everything.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure which faction I like the most either. There's definitely a couple of characters. Like I really like the Ghost character guy. That's just such a cool way of doing things, and it's so different from everything else in the game right now. But Koga is amazing.
Yeah, Koga is. Well, I think both. I think Koga and Hinadori are really, really good for their rice cost. Yeah. Like the fact that she's got that heal too, really, really good, and being able to do it at range. I mean, I think they're both. Well, yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite model, really. I know we sort of like bounced around, and I just like all the poses. I like how I think maybe also for me it's something that models that aren't armored. It's quite nice because I'm used to painting all armored models, so I really do. I'm sort of like leaning towards a lot of the unarmored ones. Like Haiboku, I like him. He's interesting. He's not the best fighter, but like the fact that he can use that coin ability and go protect me, it's pretty good.
It's so thematic too.
Yeah,
and all right, I'm going to fight you, Ben. Wait, I'm going to fight Ben. The reputation is so fun. I love that so much. It's really, really good.
But that's good because if someone's going to move into combat with you and you're within coin is really good because if someone's going to move into combat with you and you use that ability, you can move an enemy, one of your friendly models within 6 inches, within 3 inches, and go, cool, you're taking the hit. Yeah. So as a Minamoto player, I'm like, cool, you're going up against Yuji, take it. That's pretty cool. The
other thing I want to say, this box set has been one that we've known that's been coming for a while. Personally, when you want to compare it with the original 2-player starter set, I kind of feel like they match up a little better as well, because in that original 2-player starter set, those 3 Ito models kind of struggled against the Ryu ones. It kind of, I mean, it was balanced-ish, but just the way that Ito played, it really didn't go against them very well. So I think this is going to be a much better introduction to the game for new people, which is the most important part of a 2-player starter set.
I like this as well because I think they were smart. I think they were very smart doing a 2-player starter set that was Ronin.
Yeah.
And first off, it introduced us to some amazing, incredible models. But for beginners, I think it's really, really good because, okay, cool. You get two sort of like families. You've got some armored models. You've got some unarmored models. You got some it teaches you elements of the game. There are some models that have got control. There are some models that have got shooting. There are some models that are really good in combat. There are some that aren't. Some that have got cowardly. It introduces you to rules that you're going to come across often.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of fire. There's not a lot of poison. That's good because that's something you can go into later. But
it's also not a hard part of the game to learn either.
Yeah.
Fire and poison are essentially the same in every tabletop game, realistically.
Yeah. There's stun, which it sort of affects your melee and stuff like that. That's also an important rule to learn.
Yeah.
But also the fact that if they're Ronin models, it allows then the new player to go, okay, cool. I've got my 2-player star set. Where do I go? Where do I branch out from here? And you've got options.
Yeah.
You've got heaps of options.
So you and I split the box set. You've gone for her crew. I've gone for his. I really like how Koga works and how the other ones work. So I'm going to go into Temple because I want to use those models. Or maybe I really like the Ghost guy, so I'm going to go with the Savage Wave or the Uri because I want to play with this. There's no... You can get an introduction to the game without being forced into a faction, and you can still go in any direction you want. That's what I really like about it.
What's also really smart of them, and I've sort of like noticed this as we were going through the factions, is nowhere does it say you can't use them together. So, hear me out. So let's say, for example, I was going to take Koga, and I was going to take Romeo and Juliet in a faction. So in my temple list, I can use both of them together. There's nowhere does it say Hazumi models can't be in the same army as Kazumi models. Nowhere does it say that. So as we saw, some of them there was a couple of there were a couple of factions that had access to a couple more of these models. So it gives you the option to do that if you wanted to. So right away, I'm looking at Haiboku and I'm looking at Dahanji and going, they're both Minamoto models, fantastic. They're going to cost me 23 rice. I could take both those models that give me those abilities. And they're both samurai. I can take them in. I can take them in finest steel. Sure, they won't benefit from the Minamoto faction cards, but these guys, it gives me range. It gives me that reputation sort of effect as well. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's good. I think it's very smart of GCT to do it this way.
Agreed.
I know there were some people that weren't happy that like their faction didn't get a lot. I know you made that comment before, but in my head I'm like, it's smart because you can go whichever way you want to.
Yeah, but and when I made the comment, I acknowledged why. They already have access to almost more models than any other faction. They didn't need any more. Would they have liked it?
Yeah.
Of course they would. Everybody wants more stuff, but that's not what this is about. But I think we're going to end it there. This has been, obviously this has been coming for a couple of weeks at this point, to the point where it is replacing another video that we was going to do first, but I felt that it was important because this is a new faction and one that people kind of want more opinions about. So hopefully this has been useful.
I should just stop you there for a second. It's not a faction. It's a Ronin. It's a Ronin starter. Yeah, these are just families. It gives the Ronin Ronin model. Ronin faction itself access to two unique themes, and a bunch of models as well. We could go and talk into all the event cards and the enhancement cards, but they're available on the app to have a look at.
GCTstudios.com.
Yeah. But obviously, if we were to go into each of the cards, it will take. This already is about an hour and a bit. It's going to take us even longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really good. Check them out. Really, really good.
If you did not buy this on the early order, you will notice that you cannot currently purchase it through the website. It will be relaunching later in the year, much like the Void box that we spoke about last week. It was a pre-release at Adepticon, and it will release permanently on the website later this year. So for people like myself that didn't purchase it, we will be able to buy it later.
Yeah, I think it's coming out. I think it's going to become available later this month, or if not next month, from what I've sort of have heard through the Discord. But yeah, super excited. I'm waiting for mine, but but yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time, play more.